Hello Gearslots, this is Chris from Expressive E. We're here at the Dancefair 2019 in Utrecht, and I'm going to show you the Touché software edition, Touché SE. You had a video, I think like 3 years ago, when we put out its bigger brother, the flagship, with a wooden skin and the possibility to control hardware synthesizers and software synthesizers and control voltages and all that stuff. But for the people who use it mainly with soft synths, who want to have that kind of expressivity with the soft synth, we put out the Touché SE especially. And since we are at the Dancefair, just go ahead and play you some sound examples. These sounds are out of our Mercury sound pack, which is specially made for EDM music. Let's check it out. That was some sound examples from the Touché SE, the software that's coming with it. It's got 200 internal factory sounds, and of course you can use it with all kinds of other VSTs as well.
A short question about the instrument itself, for those who don't know it yet. It's a four-dimensional controller, sort of.
Absolutely. So you have this key piece of our technology, which is the touch skin, and you're able to push on the bottom. You're able to push at the top. You can shift the whole mechanism to the left or to the right. And this allows you to do a variety of different gestures on the surface. And what the dimensions do is totally independent from preset to preset, or from the sound you create yourself to the sound you create yourself. Often you would open up the filter or increase the volume of the sound when you push it down, but it's not necessary like that. You could just go ahead, and if you don't want to play with all the internal sounds that come with it, create a new plugin preset, have all your VSTs there. You would have massive Omnisphere, Reactor, UHE titles, whatever you have installed as a VST on your computer. And then let's say you choose that you want to have the Mini V by Arturia. You could open up the interface of it inside of our companion software, which is called Lié. And you would just go ahead and use the speed mapping function to decide which of the parameters you want to map. You can do it with up to 8 parameters at once. And for the sake of simplicity, I just choose the cutoff. So right now, there's nothing happening even if I press on Touché, but as soon as I decide that I want to have the cutoff on this lower dimension of touch. It is assigned with a linear dynamic curve and with a minimum and maximum values, and then I can adjust perhaps that I want to have it more bright even when I don't touch Touché. At the same time, if I want to assign the resonance of the filter to the top dimension of the Touché SE, I could do it like that just by activating this top dimension for the emphasis, which means resonance in this case, and perhaps then I want to decrease the resonance so that it's not bleeping and cranking that much, just to find the right interval, so to say, where it sounds right for you. And then I could just go ahead and with one click activate pitch bending as well. And I just created my own sound and mapping within a few seconds. And I can save that into the internal browser and dial it up afterwards. And you can load up as many instances of the Lee software as you want it to be. And then you use it inside of your DAW as a VST or an AU plugin. All the automation, all the gestures that you have, they can be recorded, and they are recorded as normal automation lanes, so you're still able to fine-tune everything afterwards. So it's quite a flexible thing. The cool thing about the Touché and the Touché SE is that you don't have to change the workflow you already have, in the sense of that you can still use your normal keypad, you don't have to get accustomed to anything else. You can still use all of your software synthesizers, the ones you use already anyways, and then just have some square centimeters of your desktop reserved for.
It's not very large, no.
Absolutely, and then just add things on top and have another access to all the sounds that you already use anyway, just for a matter of inspiration and for fun.
One simple question: this new version has a USB port instead of USB plus MIDI plus CV outs, right?
I invite you to have a closer look, exactly. So the flagship version would have control voltages 4, as well as MIDI in, MIDI out, as 1/8" jacks with adapters that come with the unit. So you're able to control hardware synthesizers as well and modular synthesizers. In case of the Touché SE, Touché Software Edition, as you said, it's only the USB connection. But when it comes to the software capabilities, it's all the same. So you have 200 factory sounds coming with it, which are based on the UVI Falcon engine. You have 200 presets for third-party developers, instruments like the Massive and some titles from the Atelier V collection. Most of the times it's like a dozen presets per VST, just to give you an inspiration of what you could map in these cases. Yeah, and that's it.
One more question. So the USB output is MIDI over USB.
Exactly. It's an integrated USB MIDI interface as you have on most of the instruments.
So with a simple MIDI adapter, we can extract a normal 5-pin DIN, right?
In this case, no, you would need an adapter. But if you hook it up directly to your computer, it's going to work fine just with a USB cable that's delivered with it. And it sends out normal MIDI CC. Still, it is a MIDI class compliant controller, so even if you don't have the software running with it, the Lié, it's going to send out a set of parameters. When it comes to the flagship thing, you would have internal memory and set things up very, very in detail with 8 slots at the same time and control voltage. Still, when it comes to the, let's say, stripped-down version of it, the Touché Software Edition, you still have inside of Lié the possibility to have the standalone setup, which is dialed up if you are not connecting it with the companion software. You're still able to customize it at least a little bit. You have 4 CCs that get sent that you can choose individually which ones we want to have, and then choose which of the dimensions on Touché and which are the minimum maximum values, and still draw in your own dynamic curve for these. So once I save this as a setup inside the Touché SE and I close Lié, I can do it right now in fact, the colors here would change to salmon color, and this means that it's now in standalone mode. As I said, it doesn't have all the memory possibilities and the hardware capabilities as the big Touché does, but it still has a basic setup and is working as a MIDI class compliant controller.
Cool. Very nice machine. Thank you very much.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much. Bye, Gearslutz.